Continuation, Dan Cooper, Cooper's Cogitations. We're talking about some of my experiences. It's also very interesting that one of those goals of the communists found in the Naked Communists, there was an agenda and it says infiltrate the churches, replace revealed religion with social religion. That's happened. It's swept through America. Some Southern Baptist convention actually split. They wanted to give same-sex people the priesthood, give women the priesthood, let them get married, all this stuff. A friend of mine told me that she knew a young lady, a teenager, who joined this church because we were the only church that said, wait until you're married for enjoyment of the procreative powers. We're the only church that said that. In our church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you hear a one-dimensional God. He's kind, he's loving, he's forgiving, and he is. However, we forget things like justice and judgment. Paul says, let your love abound yet more and more in knowledge and in all judgment. Okay, so if you don't have knowledge and you don't have judgment, you really can't love. Christ says, if you love me, keep my commandments. Therefore, the only way to have love, true love, not a counterfeit, not Satan's counterfeits, many counterfeits, is to adjust your behavior and keep the commandments of God. As I've said previously, there are two ways. One is a shield, keep bad things off. Two, it's a mirror to let the nature and character of Christ come into your being and change you so you are born again. Now, in the 60s and 70s, the Communist Party of America, CPUSA, had their intermountain meetings here in Salt Lake. The Communist Party itself was small. To be a communist, in my definition, you pay dues to a national organization, have a card, and have a number. The party was small, 6, 7 people. However, fellow travelers, sympathizers, and according to their terminology, useful idiots abounded. Many prominent members of the church attended these conferences. What we see today is a one-dimensional God. And according to these people, some of these people, you kind of forget revealed religion and just focus on love and kindness and forgiveness. And don't judge people. Oh, no, never judge people. And all this is contrary to the gospel of Jesus Christ. You remember when Christ was talking to the scribes, the Pharisees, and he says, ye hypocrites, scarcely a generation of vipers would escape the damnation of hell. I don't think it was like that at all. I think it was up front, he told them. And they beat him out of the temple. I don't think he hit the animals. They were there, not of their own volition. But he beat out the international bankers and others, beat them out with a whip. If we make God a one-dimensional God, as his children, we become one-dimensional also, which we cannot be one-dimensional. We are multifaceted and multidimensional. He gets angry, we get angry. He weeps, we weep. That's just life. That's being a human being, being a child of God. So they owned 3 unions at Geneva Steel. They owned a sheriff. They owned a sheriff. They were a sheriff. The governor's minority board. One of them sat on the university board, and I forgot where the others were. The one I met with whom I visited was on the governor's minority council. Okay, they had huge influence back then, still do. In fact, I had a subscription to the communist paper, which was published in Salt Lake City, by the way. And they owned outright 3 seats in the legislature. I actually read an article on civil rights by one of these legislatures. A woman by the same last name became the party chair of the Democrat Party. They're here in Utah. They control us. Our government never deviates from the communist agenda. I have a book online, Amazon, Documents of Destruction by Dan Cooper, and The Hammer, Same-Sex Attraction, compiled. Both of them are compiled by Dan Cooper. Get some understanding. A friend of mine was on a city council in West Valley. A group came to them and they were going to establish a radio station. Bonneville International, one of the church's corporations, was upgrading their equipment, and they were giving this equipment to this group of individuals. Well, my friend looked at the names and found out that a bunch of them were communists. He told the church had Bonneville withdraw their offer. They're here. As far as I'm concerned, they've taken over KSL. They've taken over KSL and Deseret News. Strictly propaganda. Strictly propaganda. Look at the elections in Utah. Totally corrupt. Totally fraudulent. Of course, the oligarchy will say, oh, they're good, they're honest. They're fabricating, of course. But as Stalin says, he who votes doesn't count. He who counts the votes counts. So I also was recruited by a member of the Utah Council in a chapter of Foreign Relations to go 2 years ahead of time to the Democrat National Convention and support Jimmy Carter. No one knew Jimmy Carter. And he knew 2 years ahead of time Carter would be the president. I, with certain clarity, as I know I'm in my office, that if I went, I'd get excommunicated and I get divorced. I had just been married. So I refused to go. The control has seeped down into all aspects of our life. You cannot find anything in your life that is not tainted by this satanic organization. Good luck.